What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Broadened Horizon. But as you can tell, this is not your typical installment of the series, as this is Broadened Horizon Beyond the Horizon. So, what exactly this is a collection of some of the somewhat random things Shingo and I have talked about that didn't quite make the cut for the regular episodes. And I thought that this would be a bit of a fun bonus content spin-off type edition of the show to do. So, here we are. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you like this idea, always trying to find new, creative ways to maximize content, all that kind of stuff. And of course, don't forget to check out the primary episodes of Broaden Horizon. Episode 7 is the most recent. All episodes of the show can be found right here on mymanews.com with video and audio versions. Or, right after you're done watching this one, you can go just jump over to the Broaden Horizon playlist here on my YouTube channel, and that is youtube.com/Drake Riggs. All right, with all that out of the way, enough intro. Enjoy the banter, you guys, and enjoy Ryzen 27 coming up March 21st. So yeah, I wanted to ask you about how the event went, or the two events, I guess, with all the new protocols I'm sure you guys are doing for the COVID and all that.
Yeah, I mean, there's first of all, we had to, because the event was held in Yokohama City.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were the first event in Japan that held a live audience.
Okay.
So a lot of people from the health department, from the government, they came.
Oh wow.
Just to check out how we're doing.
Yeah.
Right. At the very beginning, the city mayor of Yokohama, she was kind of like skeptical, like, really, you're gonna do this in my city? So we had to go over there. We took Sakakibara-san and Kai and headed over to the mayor's office, and we had to present her with our protocols, operation manual. So we did that, and then she was like, okay, well, now I'm on board. I'm gonna root for you guys, blah blah blah, and she was supposed to show up, but she didn't come because it was freaking hot, right?
Yeah.
One of the protocols that we had to keep all the doors open for the ventilation, and obviously we had the AC going, but it was super hot, man. It was freaking hot.
It's one of those summer days.
Hot and humid. The first day, you can see everybody was just like this, doing this, The AC was at full blast, but we had to keep the doors open. And so what happened is that it got too hot, and people started taking their masks off because it got too hot.
Okay. Yeah.
So like the venting and opening all doors, it actually didn't turn out well.
Mm-hmm.
For everybody. So the second day, I think we only opened like half of the doors and kept the AC going, and it got the venue much cooler, much cooler. So I think we're gonna go with that, because we don't want people keeling over with heat stroke.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good either.
It's like during this time, it's so hard because people suffer from heat stroke, and then we have to do all this COVID stuff, the masks, the heat. That's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, our event operations for COVID, it turned out well. We haven't had any cases of positive tests from the people who attended the event, so that's a big relief.
Mm-hmm.
And the health department, the staff from the government health department, they said they were impressed with how we were doing our operation. And so a lot of positive things, like, even though it's tough.
Yeah.
But a lot of good things came from that event. Obviously, we're gonna learn from our mistakes and try to make every operation better every time.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, Saitama's a much bigger venue too.
Mm-hmm.
So right now the government is saying that it's 50% capacity or 5,000, whatever is smaller. So even Saitama probably fits, even at the smallest bowl, it's like 14,000 people.
Jeez.
So technically we could fit 7,000 people, but it's 50% or 5,000, whichever is smaller. So we're just gonna do 5,000. But yeah. There's no logic behind the 5,000 number though. There's
Just
just
kind of random. Well, do you want to do like a little outro with me to close out for the end of the episode?
yeah, that's fine. But I mean, am I gonna be on it?
Just at the end here, I mean, just for this part.
I'm wearing a KSW shirt. I don't.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even notice that. That's
Such a weirdo.
Hey, you're all
It is.
friends. All friends
This is
here.
this is a nice shirt. Quality is awesome. I wear it all the time.
Have you been to a KSW event before?
I have. I went to the one in Wembley when they did one in
Oh,
England.
wow.
Yeah, they put on some fun fights.
I mean, KSW and RIZIN, those are, in terms of like production value and everything, I don't think it's even close to you guys and them. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I would say.
they're really good at marketing their target. You know,
Hmm.
they're really target their Polish people.
Hmm. Yeah.
So even in Wembley, you know, like it was the UK, but they had a huge crowd.
Yeah. I mean, the Coliseum show is even like, they got it going on for what they're doing. Yeah. Insane. All right. Well, all right. We just cover the shirt. We don't need to talk about KSW, but
Yeah.
just like a little recap thing. So translating for you, like, is that, it's so impressive to me, like, the memory and all that, but what's it like? Like, how can you describe what it's like to translate? Because it's just so, I can't even
I,
imagine.
I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just it comes in a certain language, you know, in English, and you just kind of put it together and it comes out in Japanese. I don't know how to say it. I think I was very fortunate enough to grow up in an environment where I got both sides of what do you call it? The fluent. I was able to keep the fluent tongue
Yeah.
for both sides. And I don't know. Like a lot of people ask me, like, when you think in your mind, do you think in English or do you think in Japanese? I
Both.
don't really know. Like I think when I'm doing something in English, I probably think in English.
Hmm.
When I do something in Japanese, I probably function in Japanese. Think in
Hmm.
Japanese. It's really awkward.
I heard, I don't know if you know of the Broad in Japan channel. I really love Chris Broad, one of my favorite
Yeah,
YouTubers.
I think I follow him on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. And one of his buddies, he's a Japanese guy and he also knows English pretty well. He compared it to like a brain drawer. So like in his mind, he's got like the drawer for English and then the drawer for Japanese, and you just take out each side, whichever you want.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. I mean, it's also like a switch, right? You
Yeah.
flip on the switch, flip on the Japanese switch. Translating, it's just as far as MMA goes.
Hmm.
Like the thing for me is translating for MMA is that I've been doing this for so long. Like a lot of the lines are the same,
Hmm.
right? The fighters say a lot of similar things,
Yes, yes, I
similar
do.
lines, right? I kind of so when you ask the question, I kind of have a few lines already made up,
Hmm.
depending on your question.
Yeah, I was kind of paying attention to that just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I try to I already have a template ready in my head, right?
Hmm.
So that's why I don't think I have to write things down. It's like it's not more of a memory. It's just having templates written down in your head and just kind of tweaking them.
Yeah. I mean, that's even more impressive because you don't know what I'm going to ask.
Well, that's true, but while you're asking,
Yeah, yeah.
you just kind of assume. I don't know. It's just I
So
think my translation is not like 100% professional translating. I don't know. I don't think I
I mean,
can.
just compared to the translators I've seen or been around, you're easily the best one. So
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for you to help me with this. Um, but yeah, how long did you live in America? Is that how, you?
I was born and raised in Chicago until I was 10. So 10 years,
Okay.
from 0 to 10, I was in Chicago. And then I came back to Japan at 10, and I think I stayed until 21. I dropped out of college, so I was like probably 18, 19, 20. And then I came back to California back in 2003.
Okay.
And I stayed in California for about 8 or 9 years.
Okay. So yeah, that's plenty of time.
I think I have 18 years in the States and then 20 years in Japan.
Nice. That's pretty even balance there.
Yeah, we're only going to get Japan. The Japanese side is going to keep on getting bigger.
Yeah, yeah. So did your parents teach? Didn't they know English too then?
No, my parents didn't know anything. They
Oh, that's
couldn't speak
pretty
anything.
crazy.
It's funny. I have two older brothers.
Hmm.
So our parents would force us to speak Japanese in the house.
Hmm.
But when we would speak in the house between brothers, we'd all speak English.
Oh, wow.
That's such a weird thing.
That's a crazy dynamic.
My oldest brother he lives in California now, and yeah, he speaks very very broken Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's been away from it for longer.
yeah. So I think I've got the best of both sides in terms of like, yeah. I don't know how to describe it. I'm just very fortunate.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm super jealous. Like, I was trying to learn a little bit of Japanese last year and just like writing down a lot of stuff, figuring out what works best. But
Japanese is hard to learn. I can't imagine trying to learn Japanese as a third or second language. I would give up. There's no way.
I mean, I don't know if I said this to you already, but I think it's easier than Mandarin because that's the other one I've tried to learn a little bit, and it's
Yeah.
so if I'm comparing the two, I'm like, yeah, Japanese seems to make more sense to me. So
Yes. So.
yeah, yeah. So good fun. Maybe one day I'll get back at it.
We'll keep on doing these, and hopefully we can get a couple words, vocabularies.
There we go. It's funny because I would like watch some videos too, and the very like first phrases that I've saw like those ones stuck with me. So like I know how to say I ate an apple. That's the one like the first phrase I knew. So it's like Ringo tabimashita, right?
Yeah.
That one is the first one I saw, so I remember it forever. And then Watashi wa doko desu ka was where am I, right? For some
Yeah.
reason, just because those were the first ones, I'm like, I know those for sure now.
That's good enough.
Yeah. I mean, that's an important one to know if you get lost.
Yep. Very important.
Yeah. So hopefully I can use them better someday. So yeah, I mean, like in regards to Reina, and I mean not her specifically, but when it comes to divisions and I mean, you guys don't have necessarily a strawweight division in comparison to like super atom weight and making titles, and like even for Kana Watanabe, a flyweight title and that kind of thing. Is that something that I don't know? What do you think about when it comes to more divisions like that? I mean, I guess for the females specifically.
Well, it's a tough one because especially like times like this, with the world pandemic, we can't get international fighters into Japan.
Yeah.
Like, there aren't too many high-level Japanese women in MMA. Like, we have really high competition. Like, we have really high-level fighters.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the middle, right? So it's really hard to create a division because, well, without international fighters, because the level is just so far apart. Like, if we wait probably 2 or 3 more years, we'll have some good up-and-comers, female athletes that would be able to fight at that caliber.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we don't have that. And, obviously, strawweight, we used to have Kanako Murata, but she had absolutely no competition in Japan.
Yeah.
And, it's hard to find tough strawweights outside of Invicta. It's very hard to find tough strawweights to bring international fighters to fight Kanako. It'll all be one-offs, right? So the division won't grow. So that's why we chose to send her out to the States and Invicta, and now she's in the UFC. So I think strawweight's going to be tough to build, unless we have like Rena. If Rena decides to stick with strawweight, I mean, we'll probably be forced to make a division around her.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing goes with flyweight. I mean, you can't really find. I can't really think of any competitive flyweight female Japanese fighter that will be able to give
There's
Kanawata
one.
a hit.
There's one.
Rin Nakai, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think those are three. Rin Nakai and Kana Watanabe, and then Shizuka Sugiyama. These three are
Yes.
probably the highest level at Japanese flyweight division.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then Kana already beat Sugiyama twice, right? So,
correct.
yeah.
So yeah, obviously we all know that Rin Nakai versus Kana Watanabe is the fight to make, but obviously there are some reasons. I'm sure it will happen, right? I'm sure it will happen, but there's so many. It's such a small island. It's such a small business industry. There's so many people in between get involved,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just hard to. It's not as simple as people may think it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that fight will happen eventually, but we've been trying for a long, long time, but we're not quite there yet.
When's the last time Rin even fought? I can't even think of when it was. It wasn't for Ryzen her last fight.
I think it was for Pancrase.
Yeah.
She fought Pancrase. Oh no, she fought for Deep. She was a filler for King Reina. King
Oh
Reina,
yeah, that's right.
yeah, King Reina missed weight, and then Rin Nakai stepped in. I was like, how the hell did that happen? It's hard enough to get her to fight in Ryzen. How would
on short notice?
Yeah, on short notice. I mean, holy crap, how did that happen?
That's funny. Yeah, like this doesn't add up.
Yeah. So, it's so in terms of answering your question in terms of division,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. But I
Yeah.
think flyweight, if we have those three and bring in like three more competitive flyweight, international fighters, I think that's something that we can focus on. Super atomweight, obviously, we have the best division in the world, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm not quite sure how Shannon will take this, but Alicia Zapatel, she just won her title.
Mm-hmm.
Getting her in the mix, back in the mix, would be something very interesting. I mean, Alicia's a fantastic athlete. I don't think she'll be able to fight strawweight in the UFC. I mean, maybe. I mean, she probably will be, but she's just way too small, right?
Yeah.
So, probably Alicia's going to have to stick with atom weight, which the UFC doesn't have.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I mean, if they were gonna, I feel like if they were gonna pull the trigger on that, they should have done it by now. They probably should have done it when Jin was champion, honestly. But
yeah, true.
I guess they're not too interested. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, Jin had a hard time, fighting at strawweight, right?
Oh yeah, Jin. Yeah.
He just lost. Hamasaki has never won at strawweight.
She has wins at strawweight.
She does.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty half and half with her career.
Well,
I know she lost to Claudia and
yes, her losses have come from strawweight.
yes. Except for the Ham one, obviously. So yeah, because going into the trilogy fight, they were both undefeated at atomweight. That was kind of the thing I was focusing on. So it was like, yeah, like 10-0 each or whatever at atomweight or below 115 was Hamasaki's like undefeated below 115, obviously. And then kind of similar with her not as good at strawweight because outside she did get robbed though a couple of those UFC fights. So Hyam did. So
yeah, she should have done better.
Yeah, lack of options will get you.
Like definitely, this whole quarantine forced us to recognize the reality of the lack of competition in the Japanese women's fight scene.
Yeah.
Hamasaki doesn't have an opponent. Like no one can fight her, except for probably Kana. And I don't even
already beat.
Right. I don't even have an opponent for Kana. Right? I is probably the only one, but she's injured right now. But there's only a handful of top level female athletes in Japan.
Yeah, and Miyu's fought most of them too at this point.
Also. Yes, the only one that we haven't done is Miyu versus Hamasaki, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Yeah, because she fought Reina in her second fight. I was looking at that the other
Correct.
day. Yeah.
I think a rematch against Rena and Mia would be interesting too.
Yeah, at this point, because Miu's settled in a lot more into MMA now. So yeah, that would be a very good one. And then, a Zapatella kind of rematch might even be interesting.
Sure.
Just Zapatella versus, most of them, since that's a fresh thing. But yeah, I guess we'll see about that, obviously. Maybe not too soon for it because of all the travel stuff, but an interesting
Yeah.
idea.
Hopefully the borders open up by New Year's Eve. This is just driving everybody crazy.
So this one has been something I've thought about for a while, but I mean, goes both ways in terms of how much I care about it or not. It's like I would like it to be this way, but I don't know. I don't care as much as surely most people do, but title fights and 3 rounds. I'm curious about the story behind why there's not 2 rounds. Is it a regulation thing? Like, what's the story there?
Television thing.
Ah, okay. Similar to the 10-minute rounds, first rounds. Yeah. Okay.
I honestly, I think title fights should be 5 rounds as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a television thing.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense now when I think about comparing the 10-minute first rounds. But yeah, is what it is then.
Fights, I mean, some of the fights I would love to see 25 minutes, like most other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, if the Ham and Hamasaki fight had 2 more, oh my goodness. Couldn't have handled that. So
I used to do, if you go on YouTube, like it's super rare, but I found a clip of me doing interviews like to fighters I booked, which it's crazy. Like I was
really,
matchmaking for King of the Cage back in the day, right?
yeah.
So it was right after the California state approved MMA as a sport, but
Okay.
we had so the operations would be done by the California State Athletic Commission. It's absolutely normal now, but back then we are so used to doing our events and running our own events on Indian reservations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the day of the event, I'm running around doing tickets, I'm running around doing the back, taping fighters, and just doing all the operations. But once we came to California soil, the commission does all that. So I
Mm-hmm.
was stuck there without doing nothing. I was just, what do I do? It's the
Yeah.
day of the event. I got nothing to do. All fighters made weight. All they have to do is fight. And obviously the show runs itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just so used to running the event, and I had nothing to do the day of the event. So I just grabbed one of our video guys and say, hey, let's just do some video. Let's just do some fighter interviews. And yeah, I was terrible at it. I absolutely sucked. But yeah, I did that for a little bit. I did that for just one show.
Yeah.
And boss didn't like it. It's like, hey, you should be doing that. So boss actually told me that, Shingo, you got to sit there. You got to sit ringside and pretend that you look important. That's what you need to do. I'm like, okay.
Thanks. Well, thanks.
And so the boss was like, dude, you're the matchmaker. You shouldn't be doing this stuff. Well, one, it makes you biased, which is absolutely correct. Absolutely true. I can't, as a matchmaker, you got to be neutral, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you can't be friendly with this guy and not with this guy. So, yeah, it
You'd
totally
have to interview everybody, right?
correct. I was just running around with a mic and a camera and say, just grab whoever I could. Like, hey, come here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I found that link from 11 years ago. I'll send it to you later. It's
All
so
right.
funny and it's very embarrassing, actually.
I actually was looking for some when we were before we did our first one, and I couldn't find any. But the only video I found of you was when you drank the spit cup on accident.
Yeah, that was disgusting, dude. That was when I was working for Shark Fights. I
Oh
was doing
wow, Shark
23
Fights
hour
throwback.
yeah, 23 hour. That was a 23-hour drive from California to Amarillo, Texas, I think.
Damn.
And we ran a show, and I was on my way back, and I was just tired as fuck, right? And I totally thought that I was taking a sip of coffee, and it was like slimy, one of the most disgusting things.
Um,
Yeah, that was with the Booyah Crew. It's a long time ago.
Thankfully, I've never had that happen to me, but a bunch of my friends growing up would chew, and it was they've like all done it to each other, but I have thankfully avoided
Yeah, I do
that.
not recommend it. It's nasty,
No,
man.
no.
Especially when it's not yours too.
Oh, I know.
Like,
And then they recorded you, those jerks. Oh, that's funny.
you're all fired.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you a link of my interview. It's pretty embarrassing, but that's probably the only time I actually went out in front of a camera and did things on my own.
Yeah.
The boss, tore me a new asshole for that. And he's like, "You shouldn't be doing that."
Like, well, we're just trying it out, I guess.
Yeah, I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
That's good. That means that everything's running smooth. So sit there and look important. I'm like, okay.
You always want to do extra, though, right? I mean,
Yeah. Obviously, I'm a fight fan, but it's my event. It's my matchmaking. So I want to run the show.
Yeah.
But I guess that makes that like, I don't know. I guess people shouldn't do that. I don't know. But
Well,
I was young. I was young and dumb.
So then was that your like first time doing it, or you didn't do Pride stuff, did you?
I think that was 11 years ago, right? That's got to be 2017. The event was at the San Manuel Casino in Southern California. At the time, we used to do an event at Saboba Casino, which is infamous for all those old school King of the Cage videos. Like, there's so many classic moments. Like, we would do the event in the rain, and people be slipping and sliding inside the cage. They couldn't even throw a kick because they'd fall on their butt, right? And they couldn't even throw a punch because they didn't have any grip on their feet. So they couldn't really throw a hard punch. Fighters would be punching like this, like this. But we've had like tons of guys like Dean Lister, Rampage Jackson, Shoji Akira, Matt Danzig, like Diego Sanchez. You name the list, and so many guys fought at Saboba Casino. But we left Saboba Casino, and then we did a show at San Manuel Casino, and that's when we first dealt with the California State Athletic Commission. I think back in 2016 it became legalized. I'm sorry, 2006 it became legalized. So going from running an entire event with like 25 fights to just doing nothing, like these guys took my job.
Yeah.
The day of the event, at least.
Yeah.
So, it was. I mean, when you think about it, it's nice. You don't have to work. Just sit there.
Exactly.
You're not making additional money. It's just the same thing. But I guess it's in my nature that I just want to keep busy. I just want to be running around. So I couldn't do that. But once you get used to it, it's very nice. Not being able to do anything and sit ringside and just watching the fights.
Yeah, exactly. Like, all right, I get to be a paid fan, pretty much.
You can't beat that, Like, I'd be like, all right now, but back in the day, I wasn't used to not doing anything during the event.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie Here Comes the Boom?
Yes, I have.
Was that scene inspired by what you just said then with the rain? Do you remember that scene in the movie where it was like that?
Yeah. There are definitely some things that I shouldn't be saying that were done during those days.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, back in the day, Here Comes the Boom, the whole underground fighting stuff, it's
pretty spot on.
It's not spot on, I would say that, but I could relate to certain things for sure.
That's funny.
I mean, we would throw fights in the rain. It's crazy.
Because when I saw that part and everything, I was like, "There's no way that would happen, right?" I mean, obviously it wasn't a big show that they were portraying, but I was like, "No way." So that's hilarious.
Yeah, I could definitely relate to some of those scenes.
I feel like that would be so fun to see that in person, though.
It would probably never happen anymore. You probably wouldn't allow it, probably.
No.
So it was a good old days, man. I think there was one particular event where King of the Cage had their show under like rain, and that's when everybody was slipping and sliding. I think Mike Burke fought Shingo Oyama. Shingo Oyama made his debut in King of the Cage, and that was a wet night. But I think the event's name was something called something totally different. But when King of the Cage released the DVD, they named it Wet and Wild.
Oh my god. That's hilarious. Why not?
Why not?
Oh man, now I gotta. That's gonna be my next project to find that. Find the tape.
Wet and Wild.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
I mean, I probably shouldn't search that just on the internet, but
That's just, you might get some other stuff.
yeah, exactly. What is it? You found it? Oh my god.
That's Rico Rodriguez.
That is so funny. Just put it right there.
It's so funny. Is that Guy Metzger? It probably is Guy Metzger. Wow.
All these notable names.
Wow. Talking about the past is fun. Like
Yeah.
and it's fun to talk about other stuff. I really did enjoy talking about the Wet and Wild and the Saboba days. That was fun.
Yeah. I did not realize that was a real thing. So that's great.
It was a real thing.
Man. Now I kind of want to go and watch that movie again. It was a pretty solid MMA movie, actually.
It wasn't bad. It was. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it like 4 times. Yeah, Satoshi, you got a bunch of fighters, random fighters in there. You got Mayhem before he went crazy, or while he was crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Mayhem Boss was in it. He was like training Kevin James, but they're like actual friends. So. Funny stuff, man. I actually I went to the boxing match last week. That was last week. Yeah, that was
Texas.
Yeah, that was the first event that I've gotten to go out to and cover since everything happened. Yeah.
One where Giovanni won, right?
Yeah, that was insane. And I mean, if you were there, you wouldn't know there was a pandemic going on. It was nuts, man. It was almost 10,000 people in there, and I mean,
shit, seriously?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was probably the biggest overall sporting attendance since things have happened. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
It was insane. Like the energy was totally like we were back to normal. It was crazy to be there.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, that was a fun birthday present for me because that was on my birthday. So,
yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks, man. And yeah,
I didn't know that you were still 25. Jesus.
Yeah, it's the facial hair is deceiving.
Very young.
Yeah, doing what I can. So it was fun though. It was weird. It was really weird, man. To do what I do on my side, but like do it differently, right? Because I was only in the hotel and then the event for the fight week. So it's like I really didn't get to see Texas. That was my first time in Texas, but does it really count? It's like I didn't get to go anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, you get those all the time when you're on the road.
Yeah.
Oh, but
super
you didn't really get to try like real Texas barbecue?
Nope. Nothing.
Dude, you gotta try it. You gotta go back and try it.
I know.
Anywhere you go in, doesn't matter if it's local or if it's big or if it's chain, if it's corporate.
Yeah.
You know how to cook their steak they know how to cook cow.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, so that was a bummer, that part of things, but hey, it was a good trip overall, just getting to do something again. So
wow, that's cool. I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, it came together last minute. I mean, boxing, not my sport at all. If I'm being totally honest, like I really don't give a shit about boxing or know much about it. But when duty calls, I'll be there.
Yeah.
So made the best of it, and turned out to be a pretty good fight night. There was only like 2 decisions, and then Gervonta Davis absolutely murdered Leo Santos. That was crazy. So oh, and this is the first time that we've actually talked to since I got to watch all your old interviews.
Oh no, you watched all of them?
Most of them.
Shit, I'm embarrassed.
I couldn't help it because you were so energetic, man.
I only did that for one night. The boss ripped me a new one. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, you did.
And the boss was like, dude, you shouldn't be doing that.
It was fun though.
Did you see the one with the drunk random guy? The random
Yeah.
crazy. It's so funny.
Oh, that's like my nightmare, man. Props to you.
It was just the guy was just hanging out. So I was like, hey, where you from? You want to do an interview? Like, yeah, fuck man.
He was into it though. He's like, I'll be here next time.
He was probably on something too. I don't know. Maybe just 20 beers or something
Yeah,
else. I don't know.
a little of both. Had like his tap out gear on and everything. That just
Yeah,
perfect MMA fan. Oh
that's
man.
so funny.
And then even Dave Cryer, I mean, what he had like his eyebrows tattooed on and everything. Like
He's a full on Nazi, man.
I believe it.
He's got a swastika. He had a big swastika and a full on eagle on his chest.
Jesus.
Yeah, but that dude would sell like 400 tickets.
Really?
Made me a lot of money.
All the Nazis?
Oh, yeah. Not all of them.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Really, Cage. Those were fun days, man.
Yeah, good times. Lots of
You gotta look up a guy called Melvin Costa.
okay.
Yeah, he's I think he was nominated for one of the worst tattoos in MMA.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
like he's also got a full-on swastika on his chest, and he's got a big spider web on his head, and he's got a tattoo that says "I have a small penis" on his
Okay,
belly.
yep, I'm seeing it right here. This guy something else. That
There's
is amazing.
yeah, he was a funny guy too. So
Wow.
I think somebody gave me a tip on this guy and said that he can sell a lot of. He lives up in Joshua Tree, California.
Yeah.
So someone gave me a tip, so I got his contact info, and I scheduled a meeting to meet him at his house. Right? I
Yeah.
didn't even know what this guy was. I just knew that he would sell a lot of tickets and bring a lot of people. So as I'm driving out there, I'm like, oh shit, it's Joshua Tree. And I'm driving out there. Joshua Tree itself is just like an abandoned town, right?
Yeah.
And it gets worse and worse and worse.
The deeper you go.
Back in the day, there were no Google Apps, right? I'm going off of MapQuest. I'm going
Yeah.
off of MapQuest and my print sheets. And I get there, and it's a trailer. It's a trailer right in the middle of a desert. I can't believe this place actually had an address, but it was crazy, man. This guy, and the first thing, like, I walk in, he's like, "Hey, you know I'm a white supremacist, right?" I'm like, "Dude, no,
Do now.
I don't." What am I doing here, right? So that was my first kind of scary, crazy experience.
Yeah, that would be a little intense.
Yeah, he was a funny guy though. Like, but the guy with a family, like a surname called Costa,
Yeah.
right? Costa being a white supremacist. How does that work?
Yeah, that is strange.
Yeah.
What was he was like nice to you though? He wasn't kind of
Like he was totally cool. He was totally down to earth
weird, man.
guy.
That's so weird.
But his thing was that you got to keep it pure. So I'd give you shit if you're walking with a white chick. I'd give you shit,
Oh, okay.
if you're walking with a black chick. I'm okay with black and black. He's like, I'm okay with, I'm
Race
okay
math.
with but you got to keep it pure. That's my thing.
Wow. That's wild,
Like,
dude.
that was funny, man. He's like, you want a beer? Like, yeah, sure.
Man.
Like,
Characters.
his fights were fun. Like he would come to brawl. He would definitely come to brawl. And I think one time I matched him up with a black guy and he lost. He got knocked out by a black guy. And yeah, I think the tribal cops they had their hands full that night.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn, that's scary for that guy. Like, dude, I was just doing my job.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The boss is like, dude, why'd you make that fight happen?
You're like, what
Well, I don't know. I thought it'd be a good fight.
it was a good fight.
It was a good fight. Look at everybody's all cheering and
Yeah.
no, they're not cheering, they're yelling and
There's ways to interpret this.
Yeah.
That's insane, man.
Melvin Costa, man, that was funny. I think he did something bad. And he went back to jail or something.
Wouldn't be surprised. Oh man.